Welcome to 5 Minutes of Momentum. These episodes are a short 5-minute burst of inspiration, motivation, and massive action. If you need that little kick up the butt to get things moving and to inspire you to take massive action, then every single Thursday I'll be sending you through a 5-minute episode to download, digest, and implement to finish your week off strong. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Welcome back to 5 Minutes of Momentum. Today I want to talk to you about how to not take things personally. This question came up in one of my masterminds recently, and it was a really interesting conversation that we had. And then I actually worked on this with her in a one-on-one session because she had some healing to do. So if you recognize that you take things a little bit more personally than others, if you feel like you get your feelings hurt when things don't go your way or something happens, maybe you'll get rejected or, someone chooses someone else over you, like who knows, that there's so many different situations where you could possibly get your feelings hurt or you can take something personally. And so I thought I might do a little podcast episode on this because I thought it'd be a perfect little topic for 5 Minutes of Momentum. So if you recognize that you do take things a little bit personally, what I try to identify is where that happens in your life. Do you find that it happens with female relationships, with male relationships? Do you feel like it happens in business more than it does in your personal life? Like, where are you noticing that you feel like you get affected by this and you feel like you take things personally? That's the first indication of what could be happening. So we ideally want to look at, firstly, healing any wounds from the past, because sometimes the present situation isn't actually the real reason why you feel hurt. It's most likely, and it depends if it's a big emotion that happens, like if you feel like you take it really personally, or it feels like it's almost like it causes you like to tip over the edge a little bit to be really emotional about it, then we ideally want to look at if there's any wounds from the past that maybe you need to heal around friendship, around the mother wound or the father wound, and start looking at where you feel like you've been hurt or most disappointed or betrayed or anything like that you've had in the past. So we want to look at where have you had your feelings hurt in the past, and do you have any specific situations in the past where this feels very closely related to, and we want to actually explore healing that child first. So what we want to do is we want to pinpoint the situation or scenario that it was. And usually I would do this in like an NLP process to actually help shift those emotions and to actually release those emotions from the past so they're no longer affecting you in the present moment. If you want to try and do this for yourself, we want to pinpoint when was that time, and if you can try to visualize that child or that adult of when that situation happened. And ideally what you want to do is allow them to be fully seen and heard in their emotions. So we may start by writing a letter from their point of view and allow them to express how they felt in that moment. Because a lot of the time when this is unprocessed emotion from the past, we need to actually allow that child or adult to actually process how they felt so they can empty out. So we write a letter from that point of view, from that person, and we just allow ourselves to fully empty out how we're feeling. So how it made them feel, if they're angry about it, if they're frustrated, if they're upset about it, if they feel like they've been hurt or betrayed, or if they feel angry or frustrated or anything. Allow them to just feel whatever they are feeling by writing it out. And writing it out really helps. Or another way to do it would actually be to say it out loud. So you close your eyes and take yourself back to that moment, and you basically express whatever you needed to express back then, right now. So you close your eyes down and you say whatever you needed to say. You explain what was happening. You explain the situation. You explain how you felt, and you allow yourself just to empty out everything that needed to be expressed back then. Okay, so then you'll get to a point where you feel like you've shared everything that needed to be said. And once it gets expressed, then you will most likely have some type of emotional release. And so allow yourself to actually feel that emotion, and trust me, it won't last long. It's okay. Allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to get angry, like whatever it is, allow yourself to express that emotion. And then what you want to do is send that beautiful past version of yourself so much love, so much compassion, so much forgiveness, so much healing. Just imagine that you're sending this beautiful child, this person that was hurt, as much love and compassion as possible. And then what I want you to do is then say back to them what they needed to hear at that time. So did they need to hear that, yes, you were hurt and you did not do anything wrong, or the way that you were treated was unfair? Like, what do they need to hear? Say it back to them. And when doing that, you'll actually allow your subconscious mind to feel healed, because there's most likely this open thought loop or this open experience that is this wound, like this gaping wound that needs to be healed. And so you want to say back to that past version of yourself what you needed to hear at the time, and then allow yourself just to process any other final emotion that comes through, and then make peace with that experience.
So we want to come to a point where we recognize that it's in the past, and that the other person, if there was another person involved in the hurt, that you allow yourself to either forgive or forget or let go, whatever feels right for you. Again, you don't have to forgive if you don't want to. And allow yourself just to know that it's okay to make peace with that past experience and to not let it continue to affect you in the present. And so, because we can't change the past, right? We can't go back and change it. We can't do what we wanted to do back then. Like, we can't express what we did. We've allowed ourselves to empty out and express what we need to express. And then we come back to the present moment and then ask ourselves, with this current situation, how would I like to proceed? Because a lot of the time, it's most likely past stuff that's affecting you in the way that you're showing up today. And then what I want you to do is ask yourself, in the current situation, how am I feeling? So allow yourself to process, allow yourself to either say it out loud, or if you need to write to the person or write to yourself in this present moment, what the situation is, how you feel, and what you feel like you need to say in order to feel heard and to be able to be seen. And allow yourself to just process that emotion. Now, a lot of the time, then the next piece is you want to flip it and go, okay, what else could be happening here? If it wasn't actually about me, if it had nothing to do with me, what else could be the scenario here? Because sometimes we make it about us when really it's actually not about us. So there could be 50 million other reasons why this person has done what they've done, and that's okay. You can absolutely disconnect from that and let that be a separate thing, and you do not have to take it personally. Okay, so we want to look at the facts, not the emotions, because sometimes the emotions are from the past. We look at the facts and go, how can I just look at the facts and let them be the facts and not make it mean anything about me? It's honestly, there's such a strength to develop if you're able to do that on a regular basis, because it is so natural for us to go, oh, it must be because they don't like us. It must be because they don't think I'm good enough. They don't like, we come up with all these negative scenarios as to why it must be about us. But this is where you then get caught up in feeling disempowered, or where you get caught up feeling hurt when really you don't need to. And so you get to disconnect from that and go, how do I want to proceed? Because you get a choice here. You can either approach the person and have a conversation and let them know how you feel, or you can decide to let bygones be bygones and let it absolutely mean nothing about you as a person. And so I share this with a lot of my clients when it comes to ghosting or rejection in business, because a lot of the time it's got nothing to do with you at all. You can learn from the experience, yes, but if you make it mean something about you, it'll prevent you from being able to follow up. It'll prevent you from being able to go after the things that you really want to go after, because you're making it mean something that it's actually not true. If we've been hurt in the past, then sometimes our subconscious mind looks for scenarios that could be similar, and sometimes we paint the picture with that situation, but it's not actually the facts. So we want to come back to the facts and determine, is that true? And if it's not, then you get to move on and you don't have to feel hurt. Okay, I hope that you found this episode really powerful. If this really resonated with you, please make sure that you do the activity, because it'll definitely help you. Otherwise, have an incredible rest of your week.